person I was 3 years ago was not the person I am today. I was shy. I was scared to approach women that I found attractive. I was scared of pretty girls in general. Like if I was around pretty girls in like a social setting, I was kind of always worried about how I would come off, and I wanted to make sure that, you know, they didn't think I was weird. I would filter what I said a lot, overthink everything. I was just so much more uptight back then about expressing myself and you know, how I express myself socially. And if I had the chance to go back in time and talk to myself about 3 years ago and give him one piece of advice, the advice that I would give him is stop trying to be so perfect. I realized recently that the reason why for my whole life I was such a perfectionist with the way that I express myself to women, and ultimately, you know, that perfectionism stopped me from actually doing it. The reason why I put so much pressure on myself, I recently realized, is back in high school, if you liked a girl, telling her was a big deal. High school is different than real life. Because in high school, if you like a girl and you tell her, there are consequences. There are social consequences that exist that don't exist in real life, like when you become an adult or even in college. In high school, for example, yeah, if you think a girl is cute, there is a chance that if you tell her, then there's going to be rumors that start, and she's going to tell her friend, and her friend's going to laugh at you, and then they're going to, you know, spread, and then now all of a sudden, a couple days later, everyone knows that you told Rebecca or whatever that you think she's cute and that she rejected you, and everyone knows. Right? There was one girl in particular that I liked a lot in middle school and high school. She liked me too, but I didn't really know what to do about it because I was so afraid of, like, you know, what if she rejects me and basically my entire like social status or my value just like is lower now, right? Like I'll be perceived as a loser. I'll be perceived as a guy who got rejected. I never made that move in high school with girls because I was so afraid about like what might happen if the answer was no. You probably relate to this, don't you? That idea was like so strong for me, and I realized it's because of this like internalized, you know, I don't want to call it trauma because trauma is a very broad, you know, term to use, but the sort of internalized behavior of, you know, filtering myself to where I can't really express myself the way that I want to express myself. I carried that behavior into college and then into, you know, my early 20s. And it wasn't until I started approaching women, and I would be honest with myself, I was like, you need to fix this fear. You need to fix this anxiety, otherwise you're never gonna live the life that you wanna live. If you're just like walking around and you see pretty girls and you're just like afraid of them, you're nervous to like talk to them even, you're not gonna live the life that you wanna live. You're always gonna feel like confined and judged and less than. When I was around 23, 24 years old, I really took it upon myself, like the biggest priority for me was approaching women and becoming more confident with them because I wanted to know and confirm that this was okay to do and that it could even lead to, you know, a fun dating life and in sex and relationships and all that stuff. Like it could 100% lead to all of that, but on a deeper level, I wanted to know that like I could express myself freely and I could actually go for what I want in life, that I didn't have to be so worried about like social judgment and social rejection that, you know, if I got rejected by one girl, that's all that means. You just get rejected by one girl. It's not like this. It doesn't mean that you're gonna get rejected by every woman now, or that if you get rejected by one girl, it means that, you know, you're incapable of ever finding love or ever, you know, actually matching with somebody, connecting with somebody. What I would tell myself a few years ago and what I'm telling you now is high school and all those uncomfortable feelings that we all had in high school is different than the real world. In high school, there are social consequences. If you get rejected by a girl, it's very possible that rumor spreads and all of a sudden now people look down on you. But in the real world, if you see a girl sitting on a park bench and you walk up to her and you just say like, hey, thought you were cute, I wanted to come say hi, and let's just say she rejects you, that's it. Nothing happens after that. And it's not even that bad. It's also very, very likely that she actually likes you and she talks to you and then she gets to know you, you make her laugh, maybe she makes you laugh, you connect with her, you get her number, you set up a date with her, and now your life involves her and you made it happen. Like it really bothered me that I was so afraid for most of my life to just tell a girl that I thought she was cute, even if it was like a girl at a cafe, you know? It wasn't until recently that I realized like, yeah, it was because of high school. It was because of all like the trauma of high school, of like feeling less than and feeling afraid to express myself and be vulnerable. So if you're still in high school and you're watching this, then I would still go for it, honestly. Like, who gives a fuck about what people in high school think? Like, ultimately, like, you're not gonna give a fuck. You're gonna end up being in your 20s and you're like, yeah, I wish I was just, more relaxed and more loose, more of myself in high school. But if you're in college, if you're in your 20s, if you're in your 30s, 40s, if you're an adult, I want you to let go of that fear that you had when you were still a boy. And it's easier said than done. Like, I 100% understand that it's easier said than done. Like, I went through this process myself of acknowledging that fear and actually facing it consistently every day by approaching women. But the first step to all of this is acknowledging the fact that real life, a girl that you see on the sidewalk that you'll never see again, there's no consequences as long as you're respectful, as long as you sort of do it the right way. And I'll give you a little bit of advice right now on like how to do it the right way. Basically, just to kind of give you like a 3-step breakdown of what to do real quick. Step number 1 is, if you see a really cute girl, just go talk to her. Like, just start walking towards her, because the more time you take to sort of decide that you're gonna go talk to her, in that time, you're just gonna start overthinking things. You're gonna start thinking of what to say. You're gonna start thinking about, like, is she approachable right now? Like, is she kind of like, maybe it's not the perfect time. You're kind of assessing if this is like the perfect scenario. Again, kind of some of that high school mentality coming up, kind of assessing the situation, assessing the consequences way too much. So step number 1 for you is, if you see a girl today or tomorrow, whenever you see her, is you just start walking over to her immediately without even overthinking anything. Step number 2 is just be your authentic self, man. Walk up to her and just say, hey, excuse me, I was over there, I saw you, I thought you were cute, I wanted to come say hi. Kind of give her some context as to like what you were doing, maybe like, hey, I was over there getting coffee and I saw you, I thought you were cute, wanted to say what's up, kind of laugh a little bit. Like, it's a fun time. Like, you're gonna be kind of nervous, you're gonna be excited a bit, but it's like, channel that energy, that anxious, excited energy into like laughing and giggles and fucking just having a fun time. I also 100% believe that the word cute is the best word that you could use. I don't think saying things like beautiful or attractive or sexy, I think all that stuff's it's just way too much for the moment. Saying beautiful is like, you're pedestalizing her way too much. Saying attractive, that's a little bit too like animalistic in my opinion. It's like, hey, I thought you were attractive. It kind of douchey. I don't like the way that sounds. The word cute is nice because it's almost as if you were like a 5-year-old kid on a playground and you were, just walked up to another 5-year-old girl and you're like, hey, I thought you were cute, or like, you're cute, haha. Like, it's just a funny, almost childlike, innocent thing to say. And it brings the girl in that energy as well of like, hey, like, this is just an innocent feeling that I have. Like, I saw you and I thought you were cute. I wanted to say hi. You're not, making it into, kind of objectifying her and making her seem like this sexual creature or whatever. It's like, no, like, I thought you were cute, honestly. It just kind of has this playful tone to it that I really think sort of captures the vibe in the best way. So that would be my recommendation, and I 100% believe that that's like the best thing that you could say, is just like, hey, thought you were cute and wanted to come say hi.
Hi, it's random. I was across the street and I saw you. I thought you were really cute. I just wanted to say hi.
Thank you. That's
Yeah,
nice.
I dodged traffic to come say hi to you.
Then it's like the conversation itself, right? A lot of guys worry about this part too, and I mean, I totally understand. Like, I worried about this as well. Like, guys with this conversation aspect too, they overthink it because they think that they need to be seductive. They think they need to be clever and like have riz or whatever. They think they need to like escalate or something. Again, the conversation itself doesn't need to be this like perfect, showcase where you're like showcasing your how amazing you are or something. It's a relaxed kind of get to know you small talk type of conversation, and all of the questions and things that you could ask her, it's all pretty basic stuff. You don't need to escalate. You don't need to, riz her or whatever.
That's an interesting name.
Thank you.
Okay, Jacob.
Yeah, I do need to cross the street.
I'll cross back with you.
Okay.
What are you up to today?
I'm actually studying because I have finals.
Oh,
So,
okay. You in college?
Yeah.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm senior.
Senior? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Like,
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, 22 in February, but yeah.
okay, cool. How old do you think I am?
I would say like 24, 25.
That's cool, yeah.
How much?
25.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. So are you about to like go to the cafe or something?
Yeah, I'm gonna get coffee and then meet one of my friends for lunch.
Nice.
And then go back to the library.
Okay,
So.
cool. You go to Georgetown?
Mhm.
Nice. Smart. Educated. What do you
I don't know about that.
What do you study?
Government.
Oh
so Very
shit.
Georgetown.
Yeah, wow. You're in the
Very
right place.
Georgetown. I know.
For
What's your
sure.
name? Sorry.
Jacob.
Okay, nice
Yeah.
to meet you. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool, yeah.
These conversations all can lead to you getting the girl's number and having her, be excited to see you again. Girls kind of crave this, to be honest. I mean, there's some girls that are like afraid of it, and they're the ones that will get kind of uncomfortable with it. But most girls are very, very cool with this, and they actually kind of are hoping that guys grow a pair of balls and start doing this more often. So if you're watching this right now, this is like the golden age of approaching, because if you're able to just like have these regular conversations with girls and not be, phazed by their attractiveness and just walk up to them regardless, you're like way ahead of like 95% of men. As far as getting her number goes, you could literally just say something like, cool, I'm probably gonna head out, but it was nice talking to you. I'd love to grab a coffee sometime. Just by saying that itself, you're kind of initiating, getting her number, like that phase of the conversation.
I mean, would you want to grab a coffee sometime, or
Sure,
when you're free,
just
when you're not
text me.
doing?
Sure.
My phone's kind of dead right now, but I can give you my number, and then I'll just like text myself.
And if she says yes and she's down for the whole idea, then you can just pull out your phone and open the contact, create a contact section, just give it to her, and let her fill in her number. My goal is to help young men evolve and understand that you could grow as a man. You could get what you want in this life if you just go for it. And overall, it's really not that complicated. There is some level of like framework that you kind of need to understand. Overall, it's so much easier than we think, and most of it is just our own fears kind of prohibiting us from actually going for what we want. And those fears are rooted in childhood stuff and just kind of learned internalized behaviors. The time to get rid of those fears is now. There's no better time in your life than right now to just start going for what you want. I do one-on-one coaching, and there's a link down below if you're interested in that. You can kind of read about like how I help guys specifically. It's not like a cookie cutter, copy and paste, format. I really get to know you and understand where you're at right now and kind of your internal struggles and how we could address those, help you take that next step, which is, approaching women or whatever your next step is. I will help you get there. So check the link out below if you're interested in that, and I'll see you guys next time.